How's it going? I'm just in the middle of editing this image, so I thought that I would record my screen and just kind of share just a quick kind of guerrilla fast edit tip. This is a recent shoot I did with Chanishta in the studio. It's kind of a tennis thing, and she had this tennis skirt. Anyway, here is the original of the skirt. Let me zoom right in so you can see this. It was a brand new skirt, but of course it's covered in lint and dust. So that's before, that's after, before, after. And there's a million ways to do things in Photoshop, so I'm sure everybody's going to have a say on how to do a quick fix on this. I'll show you layer by layer what I have done here. So let me just undo all of these suckers, and we'll walk through from the beginning. So the first layer here is actually, I selected out the skirt from the rest of the image. And in my filter, I used Retouch4me fabric. This is a great plugin if you haven't used it. It gets me from that to that. It just kind of smooths out a little bit of the fabric, a little bit of the wrinkles. It's nothing to do with the lint yet, but just the wrinkles, and kind of starts the smoothing process. Next, before, after, I kind of darken and even out the blackness and grayness of the skirt. You can see, so some places it's lighter and darker, which is fine because it's wrinkled, but just by kind of, there it is, bringing it all down to like a middle tone, that's going to help me quite a bit. All of this little lint and stuff is still here. It's just darker. I've just colorized it. And I've done that by selecting the color on her dress, as you can see here. And let me just select this here. And painting it in over the areas that are black. And you don't have to be really clean about this, and I'll show you why. If I double click this, you can see the blending layer style. I'll move this over. You can see what I've done. I've effectively taken it down from the white point. I'll do this again. You can see here. You can see where I was real sloppy. I just painted over the whole bloody thing, because I'm going to slide this to the left down here at the bottom, the underlying layer, and if the underlying layer is white, it's going to remove it for me. So that's pretty bloody handy. And then I'm going to option click this, split that playhead, and drag it down into the grays too. And that's how I kind of get away from having to do a selection and a mask and the whole rigmarole. So off, on, off, on. That's phase two. So just little pieces, right? Just a little smoothing of the dress, a little darkening of the lint. Now here, this third one, on, is where you can see all those little white flecks disappear, which is not true. They don't disappear. They're actually still there. I just done the exact same technique with a darker color, and then the blending layer star, I removed it from the black area and kept it in the white area. So you can see, if I took the white area away, you can see they come back and then they go away. So keeping that one in has now just basically made all the lint the same color as the dress. It's still there, you just can't see it as much. So that is where I get into getting a clone stamp tool and playing cleanup, because I don't want to do that when I've got this situation going on. You're going to be here forever, touching every little spot, and you won't have any great areas to sample from, if I'm being honest. So we go through these steps here, and we get to that. Then I made a stamp visible layer, boom. And this stamp visible layer, after my clone stamp, I actually brought back in to Retouch4me into portrait volumes, and I'll bring it in again. I won't redo it, but I'll show you what portrait volumes does. It basically goes through and puts that light back in that was there in the beginning. I'll show you before, after, before, after. And I've already done it on the dress, so you can just see it here, before, after, before, after. It just follows kind of the contour of her body and paints that back in. So once I've got that, it's still a bit light here, just one small curves adjustment, kaplamo, to put that back down. And let me get a good close-up so you can see. I mean, if you're looking close, you're not going to really see anything there. There's a couple of wrinkles that I deliberately left in, and the stitch line, because I don't want people to know that that anything's happened. So here's before, after, before, after. Anyway, I just wanted to make a quick video and share this little quick technique. I'm sure everybody has probably a better, faster way than me, but I want to share that with you. I'm going to continue on to edit this now. So if you want to to press stop here, and that's all you came for was the lint. Great. If not, stay with me and let's finish this sucker. Ready? Shift Option Command E gives us a stamp visible layer, and we're going to go move up here into the face. Of course, Chanista is a professional model, so she's looking pretty good already. Just upon examination, I can see her skin tone here. I can just smooth that out with a bit of dodge and burning, and as well here, just in her tummy, we've got a bit of her bra showing underneath. That's fine. I have no problem with that. And her legs, same thing. Just this is natural. Everybody's, you know, legs has little different parts of red and light and dark, and when you get cold it gets more extreme, and etc, etc. But just because this is kind of a fashion photo, I'm going to drop down to go into filter. I'm going to go to Retouch4me, dodge and burn, and I want to show you the Retouch4me dodge and burn. I'm going to show you the preview of what the mask looks like, and it's going to show up not just in a gray layer like we normally do with a gray layer and soft light or overlay and dodging and burning. This is going to show you more from blue and purple up to yellow and green for the highlights and blue and purple for the lowlights of where it's affecting. So I've got it on auto now. I could have it on this middle one, but it's sensing naturally. And I just leave this to show you the real time, guys, of how long it takes. Guys and gals, I should say, here we go. So let me zoom in, and I'm going to start down here on her legs so that you can see exactly what's happening. And I'm going to put it up to 200 here just for YouTube so you can actually tell the difference. So look at the evenness of the tone here, and if I put it on preview, that's how much it's done. So that's what it's affecting. I'll show you the original before, after, before, after. Up here we can go into her stomach, and we can see original, before, after, before, after. Let's preview that. So it's very, very subtle, as you can tell, which I think is really great. I think the best retouching, for my opinion, is the subtle stuff. Let's see the preview here. So that's what's happening. That's what's going on, which is a lot, right? Before, after, before, after. You can see in her cheeks and her nose here, we've lost a bit of warmth. So that's why there's a warmth slide. I'm just going to pump this back in, and we'll just put a bit more. That's better. Before, after, before, after. And her arm, same thing, before, after. I'll preview that. Amazing, right? Okay, let's leave that at 200. And there we go, Command 0. And actually, this is a pretty wide angle image. I'm just going to go back here, and we'll see before, after, before, after. You can see it's not a huge difference, guys, but every little bit counts. Now, I want to take a look at her hair up here. Normally, you know, you want like super clean hair and clean all these flyaways. I'm okay with this because it is an athletic shot. I'm going to create a new layer though, and I'm going to hit S for my clone stamp, and I am just going to sample in her hair and nudge it out just to fill in a bit of that white wall. I've always found that when I'm shooting dark-haired models against white walls, any parts like that are kind of see-through. It just catches my eye, and generally, as a rule, as a professional retoucher, if something catches my eye, it's got to go. Like if it's drawing my attention away from the photo, it's got to go. So let me show you that before, after. Like, did that bug you before I said it? If you're a retoucher, it probably did. But it's good to kind of train your eyes. Let's zoom out a bit. Before, after. Isn't that weird? Like, you never would have noticed it before I said it, but and you would never know that I did that actually after either. Now, there is one more thing we're going to do here. I'm going to Command E to merge that down. And we're going to go into liquefy. But what I'm going to do is use the hand tool here on the top left, and I just want to nudge her hair around a little bit here, just on the crown. Often when people have their head pointed down, you kind of don't, you lose that shape, that natural shape. I'm going to zoom out a little bit more. Because her hair is so full around here, I want to continue that arc. And here's a fun fact. I was a hairstylist for 12 years before I became a photographer, and you can just see the difference before, after. That about wraps this one up. There's our before, there's our after, Command E, and full screen, Command 0, full screen. There we go. I hope you like this little tip and trick, and please like, comment, subscribe.